Okay, should we start the session? Okay? Are you all here? So my name is Kspi-Lo. I've been a journalist since 2002. So many years. Started as a huge. Actually, my profession in the old days was working in kindergarten. I was the only man. It was a bit strange. Many women was deciding what to do. But of 3 years, it was 50-50 man and women in that kindergarten. And then I was shop steward and paid shop steward in that union for some years, and I started also in Kspi-Lo in 2002. I don't want you to guess my age, like Loro, because you probably say 66 or something. I'm 48.
Wow.
I started as shop steward very young. In Kspi-Lo, I have been worked with organizing. In the region, I have been organizing different branches in 7 years. And then I worked in the organizational department in the local national to cooperate with the affiliate unions to mobilize, organize, skill and cash at a way. We'll talk about that a bit later, but has been a very cool history for me. I learned a lot, and the last 10-ish years I've been working because I think most of what we're doing in Norway is exactly the same we're doing in Indonesia. So it's quite easy to do unionism because we are global. The challenges are maybe different, but the methods are quite similar. Okay, so if you want to visit me, you walk around 126 days up north. So you will be out here. Just walk over there and go this way to the left, and you finally lost though. Maybe call first. If you have to turn around, if I'm not wrong. But it's not a big road. It's sort of long distance, but not so far anyway. Just very short of Norway. It's a very cold country. This is October to March. It looks like this. It's cold. It's a lot of snow. But I like it. It's the saying is never bad weather, it's only bad sweater. So we need some good clothes. This is last week, so we also have summer. So it will also benefit from the heat. So this is from Oslo. Okay. We have almost 1 to 2 hours spent on discussions. It will be not a lessons. I think we also need to have some discussions because some of the things I want to talk about is maybe different from you, or maybe it's similar, and we'll have this discussion with you when we're going through these different issues. This is not from today, it's over 100 years ago. Maybe it's difficult to see, but can you see what type of people is in this picture? Start with the gender. Oh. Ladies. Yes. Yes, it's women. What about the age? Maybe difficult. Yes, most of them are children. And you can see there's a one man with a hat. This is a union. Most are children. And they're working on a factory. And the man is the union leader. And this is the members. They made the first strike in Norway. They made the factory made stitches in order to fire up. And you know the thing on the stitch is a chemical. What's the name is? Yeah, something which is not good for the body. So they want to change the labor standards, and also want to have 8 hours working day. And Norway at that time was one of Europe's poorest countries. And I'm not going to talk about the history, but this is our beginning. And we have done a lot the last 60 years in order to equalize both salaries, gender, and power balance. That's a very small country though. It's like 5.5 million. So that's probably a small area in Jakarta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 2 houses, 2 buildings. So I know that's very difficult to compare. But this is a country, it's very long, not with nature, people are spread all over the country. So not much cities, many villages. Very many are working. It's 2-point-something million workers. 50% of them are members in a union. And also 69% of all workers are covered by a CBA. And it's a bit varies, like in the public sector, all of them are covered of CBA. And the private sector, only 52%. That's because some, makes sense maybe, but many companies which is private doesn't have any CBAs or have no organized people. Yes. This is our configurations. We are not 22 like you. We have more or less. So we are our biggest. We organize blue and white color, meaning all types of unions are members as us, like professionals, high educated, non-educated, vocational trained. Then we have two which organize only high educated people, more mainly in private sector, not mainly in public sector. And then you have a copy of Kspi-Lo, because someone saw that in the 70s, 80s, we were very politically active, and they made someone else made a new like Kspi-Lo, which is non-political. But that's just something I'm saying because they are supporting the conservative side of the government, which is anti-labor actually. So. Anyway, I will not talk about politics yet. This is our type of members we have. We have with more than 1 million members, which is working members. And we also have student members, which is not fully members, but they recruit them on universities because we know that they are very interested in unions, and they're also in their profession they are educated in. If you are working like a studies as a teacher, you want to also learn about work life after you have finished with the studies. So you can be a member of a teaching union in a law for more money. But you can also get help because most students in Norway working partly. For example, if you are a teacher student, full time, maybe in the weekends you're working in a coffee shop. And no one is helping you because you're not organized, right? So our student membership is so that you're a member of Kspi-Lo student. You belong to the teachers, but the union in the coffee shop will help you if there are anything else. So we cooperate between our affiliates. So that's sort of one example how we cooperate between our unions, keep our recruitments in our organization. And also we have this for the apprentices. So we have around 270,000 youth members. This is our unions based on size. Number is maybe not relative. I just want to show you that we have very different sizes. And you probably have the same, right? Different big unions, small union. Well, the red one here is What union I came from? It's from the public union. This is an industry, service, and then we have a lot of electrician, farming, sea unions, and also sport, culture. You know Poland? The football player Poland? He's member of the sport union. He's a union member. Of course, if we go to our conference with all these unions, you will see that the representation is very various. So the big union have most people, the small one have representatives. If you see all these unions together, we have more or less 50-50 private sector, public sector. And also 50-50 men and women members. But it's very complicated and very much work in order to make sure that the small unions don't leave anymore because they don't really hurt. And also that the big unions can show that they are biggest. And have the power. And that's sort of a dynamic, I think maybe you as well, you are a big union, right? But you also have some small union members in Kspi-Lo. And I think you think, if you are biggest, you can say yeah. So SPM and SPMI. It's so that you think and discuss that if we can decide, we can decide everything on Kspi-Lo. Just like that, just make that forward. Or do you have also dialogue with the small unions? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, you have dialogue with small unions? Okay, that's good. Okay, so we can take maybe this later, but this is about how our CBA system are working. We can take that in the council discussion. I overheard this debates and discussions last night, and I think many of the questions you raised is very similar to our shops used back in Norway. So it's quite cool and interesting discussions we had. And I will try to respond to some of them as a teaching context on this session. This is our labor union square, where we have 1st of May, 8th of March. So this is 8th of March demonstration this year. Okay. This is a picture showing the variance of how much in each country you have a system where, or statistics, where how much the boss is earning compared to the lowest paid worker in a company. It's maybe not very specific, but it's what I'm trying to see and show is that in India, the big boss are earning so much more than a low skilled or low paid worker. The same in the US, like Elon Musk have so many thousands, billions of dollars, but all his workers need maybe 3 different jobs in order to pay that insurance. In Norway, we have not that big difference from the boss to the workers. I tried to also find a statistic for Indonesia, but there was no data on it. But I assume that there's a big difference from your salary to the bosses. Exactly. It's a huge.
Very small.
But then I think this is important as well as a community to have understanding of why should we have new positions in a company? Because the society is built that way that we have to fight for the big positions in order to get a high income. But in Norway, we don't have that much debate about that. We are more like we want to do our profession and get paid. And most in Norway look to bosses with high salary and thinking that's unfair. Because we have a common understanding that all who participate in work life are the reason that they actually earn money. So it's sort of a mentality thinking, which is maybe easy for us to have because we have come to that part that people actually, if you are a taxi driver or service provider or teacher, the salaries are quite high compared to the bosses. It's not like very various, like in India, a normal general statistics, that a boss is earning 483 times more than a general contractor in the company. It's enormous difference. And of course, 100 is also much, but the point is to show that there are differences. And also the number in the US, I think that's a bit strange. I have other, because you have so much varies from the richest and non-general companies. So I think this number can be even more higher if you go into the details. So if you compare the same companies and Indonesia, not the same, I mean, everything in the Philippines as well. But this is union density compared to diversity, salaries. As more unionists or members there are in a company, the more equality of the salary is in the company. Because is 16% union density in Indonesia correct? Yeah? Yes? Okay. Good. On ChatGPT as well. Perfect. Okay. So let's start with this. is the most important for a unionist? Who is the most important person for a union? Chair? Anyone else? Of course, members. That's of course the members. Even though it's a Norwegian member or an Indonesian member, we all have the same focus. Unions work for the members. And I often see unions are so focused in the union work that they probably forget also why they're doing it. Why are we working what to do? You know, this is our mandate for why we're here, right? And I think this is, I'm not kidding, no. I see that a lot of unions globally focus on political change, focus on a lot of issues which is good for the members, but there's no link to what they have called the union shop stewards. Because they assume this is what the members are thinking. Right? We need to understand what our members actually want. So, many unions have failed. They have lost a lot of members because they're going another way than what their members are saying on the floor. And I think we, as for shop stewards, are working now. We should always focus on what our members actually think, say, and behave on that. So, it might be that you read and such, and this is how we are thinking in Norway. Probably totally different what you think. But you also feel that when I was up to this day, I felt often that I'm talking on behalf of members, but I'm not sure how to, if that's correct, and how should I actually discuss with my members what is their demands. I remember it was the Jamboree, Kspi-Lo Jamboree last year. It was 2 young shop stewards who was new elected on companies, I don't remember. And then discussed with me, they are newly elected, but how should I actually behave as a shop steward to our members on a daily basis? Which I think is the most important question you can do as a shop steward. To make sure that you have this clear what should I do. Discuss with our members so they actually can grow. Because our members are really focused, and just take a bit discussion. Do you have examples of how you have dialogue with your members? Do you have any meetings? Or is it mostly individual discussions?
Diskusi individu, berindividu satu lawan satu,
Maybe I remember that was easiest of the individual discussions. Because collecting many people at the same time, everyone's looking at me like beat pressure. So, but how are you working with your members? You are members, right? Yeah. Good. What do you do with members? Do you talk with your members? Oh, yes. In what ways? How do you do that? Lunch? Invite lunch or give them lunch?
Yang keras boleh,
Oh,
kalau saya
yeah.
ya.
Kapan sih yang
Yang bring lunch, they sorry.
kita ngobrol pas jam makan siang.
Yeah, we talk with them. I talk with them during lunch.
Yeah. That's good. Time to meet them, right?
Baik untuk ngobrol dan ketemu. Yang lain silakan.
Other way of connecting your members?
Cara yang lain untuk ngobrol.
Kalau saya paling itu Pak, kalau di tempat kerja kayak gitu ya. Kalau di tempat kerja ya, di tempat kerja itu paling kami ada anak-anak satgas yang dengan keluargaan gitu.
Something called Satgas, which is a task force. That we ask them to collect members.
Jadi itu nanti kami akan edukasi, akan mapping sama anak-anak gimana untuk apa aja sih yang mereka perlukan di produksi ini.
Ask what they need in the production.
Okay, yeah.
Nanti akan kami sampaikan, akan kami upload dan
We will then convey that or pass that to the management.
itu yang kami.
That's what we do.
And you did that. You went to the company leaders with the demands.
Ke suatu tempat gitu, ke pemimpin Organising dan kemudian ke manajemen.
Ya, sebenarnya kan kalau ya di luar jam kerja,
That's after busy after
terus kami melakukannya di parkirnya.
and then
Kalau
we
nggak
will
diambil,
handle the tripartite negotiation with tripartite meeting with the management.
So, did the members get any feedback?
Apakah kemudian anggota memberikan feedback terhadap apa yang kita lakukan?
feedbacknya.
You talk with the members, you bringing it to the leadership.
Kemudian dibawanya ke
Iya,
pimpinan serikat.
Banyak Tuhan yang mereka sampaikan kepada
We
kami.
receive internal grievances and then we forward those to the management.
Okay. And the results was bringing back to your members.
Kemudian apakah mengembalikannya kepada anggota, memberitahukannya apa yang hasil dengan
Ya,
Okay.
akan kami sampaikan setelah kami berunding kepada manajemen itu akan kami sampaikan apa aja sih yang yang ada di
Yeah.
what happens in the negotiation or the meetings with the management.
So you invite them like a meeting room, or is that also a lunch time?
Anggota ke suatu ruangan pertemuan atau ke suatu ruangan satu.
bisa di kantor serikat atau di forum luar. Jadi itu perwakilan dari departemen menyampaikan proposal dari anggota
Ya, if you need some kind of forum,
Yeah, yeah.
then I will draw a proposal.
Very good. Do you all do that? Sounds very good.
Melakukannya begitu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Impressed. Good job, students.
Untuk sama-sama.
So, so let them know if you need a break.
Kita sudah harus break.
Is that all?
Masih bisa terus? Yes,
Okay.
we can do that.
You continue with break. Okay, so for union organizations, this the next important of the members are you.
Yang setengah anggota lembaga serikat yang penting adalah pengurus.
And again, I think this is obvious for you,
tentu saja ini sudah
but again, I think we need to also, we as working at national level, also discuss that with national people in Kspi or other countries. You need to remind yourself about this. Again, we're forgetting who is the most important in the system. And if you don't have you, the strong structures, the unions as well. I will send you all these methods. So, yesterday it was a bit of discussions about politics or neutral, and being a neutral union, or because there's a lot of politics going on. And I agree that I think shop stewards need to be very aware of what is their role and what's the politician's role are. Because you are still representing your members. You cannot talk on behalf of others. And I think, again, it's impossible to read this. But I think you as shop stewards, we focus on members' needs at a company level. Even though it's a salary, even though it's working hours, or it's a contract, permission to have breastfeeding time, or just solving conflicts. But of course, you as you are a member of a local branch or the national union, you need also do policy changes in order to have the working hours by law, or there's a union demands which needs union lobbying. But of course, the politicians should listen to you, not the opposite. Because you are delivering members' demands and needs, not the opposite. How is that for you? Is it do you feel pressure sometimes, or how is it? Do you feel that there's an interest of conflict? Or is it touching now? I definitely know the situation myself as well when I was a student. I think the most important that you have a platform as a shop steward based on your members. And if anyone or politicians talking to you, your mandate is what the members are saying. Don't try to be convinced of something else. I mean, if so, the members should give you the message. Because they are member-based organized. So, yeah, we need politicians. As a union, we need politicians because they are people representing the parliament or local government. But there's a very, very complex country how politicians are and also corruption. And we as shop stewards, we cannot join that corruption process because we are paid members who say what they actually have to do. So, and in Norwegian, shop stewards in English in Norwegian is just elected. Which means that our members are trusting the shop steward. And if not, they can vote for someone else. That's the power of the members. Corruption, talking on behalf of the union with no mandates. They have a possibility to actually re-elect people if that's happening. You also have the same head. If you see that someone are corrupt or do something, you have the position to change it. Yeah. Have anyone done that? Yeah.
Yes.
Have you everyone any experience to change leaders based on that? Yeah. Oh, what was that?
Ya, sedikit sharing aja ya.
Yes, yes.
Karena kita seringkali punya iuran. Dan di kepengurusan itu kan kadang-kadang punya power yang lebih tinggi tapi kontrolnya kurang. Maka penyalahgunaan wewenang itu menjadi sangat besar. Ketika seorang ketua kemudian bisa menggunakan keuangan secara serampangan atau brutal ya, gunakan untuk pribadi, untuk bisnis pribadi, yang akhirnya membuat organisasi lemah dan ketidakpercayaan anggota. Pada titik itu kemudian pengurus yang lain melakukan protes dan meminta untuk pengembalian uangnya dan penggantian pengurus ketuanya. Nah, di periode kedua kami pernah ada.
That's a good example, and a good example that actually it's possible to change. And I think also it's an important signal to others who have that problem that it's possible. Even more important that you have dialogue with your members and contacts, because if you have contacts, it's also possible to have the dialogue to change. Okay, so wherever goes, let's see. This is a sort of a site. Sorry for the bad drawings, by the way. ChatGPT and link to time get boring pictures. But anyway, the point is, in the Norwegian mentality of trade union cycles, or substitutes. We have starting with recruitment of new members, of course. And as soon as they are a member, we should train them and support them to be elected as a shop steward. And this picture is signalizing that when you have been educated to be a shop steward, the old guys should say that I'm stepping behind, so you can be the new shop steward. The last one I don't know, but I don't remember. Is that both women and men take leadership positions in the top. So, in our view, it's important that all union leaders, also at the national level, need to be recycled. Because if we're stopping up and we recruit a lot of people, not a shop stewards, and then you have the same on top many years. It doesn't reflect the new generation of shop stewards and the new ideas, and also a new way of making trade unions. think that's the same here, right, isn't it? In principle. Yeah. Is it working in practice? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Many countries this will work. Many union leaders are men voting and elected president to the union for 3-4 times. And there's another young person in the union. Those are bad. So, one issue I think is related to many unions. I know it's the same in Indonesia, that we need to develop the unions on the benefit of members. When I talk to a lot of, this is by the way not a real union thing, but I see often that the union presidents or veterans are saying that we need to convince workers how unions are working, which is indirectly correct. But we are still a movement, we are moving ahead, we are changing. So we need to also have that mentality when we're thinking about unionism. But maybe also the union needs to change in order to understand our workers. Because workers today are something totally different from workers 20 years ago. We changed as human beings, the working environment is changing. In all ways, I assume that most full-time contracts for big companies, a lot of public owners, full-time contract with a monthly salary. Today, we have a lot of outsourcing, platform workers, the employers are trying to divide us between the company. Totally changed from 20 years back. And how are the union organized based on the new changes? In my view, it's not up to the leadership of the top leadership. This is your mandate, it's your companies. If you see outsourcing, have you any discussions at the company what to do with the outsourcing? On your company, maybe the cleaning service, they're setting out the cleaning service for external companies. Is that something happened? No? Not yet? Anyone? Yes. Is there any discussion how we can organize them? Or is that also the case?
Regulasinya juga mendukung untuk diposisikan, makanya kita ada beberapa regulasi yang ada di Indonesia.
So because of the laws and regulations allows the company to hire outsourced workers, which is found in the regulation.
But who regulates the unions? Was I organized?
Yang meregulasi serikat atau mengatur serikat untuk bisa mengorganisasi mereka itu ada regulasinya.
So if you have a company
Kalau ada satu perusahaan,
and the company is saying from tomorrow the cleaning is
cleaning service
another company provide the cleaning,
di outsourcekan ke perusahaan lain.
That's okay. Then it's not. Then change the battery.
Yes.
Technical break, 5 minutes. Yeah, let's take 5 minutes, right? It's good with that. Oh, okay. Should we continue?
Yes.
I'm going to take a break. The reason I'm discussing this is not because there's a solution on everything here. The point is that we as a union and local shop stewards need to discuss changes. So it's not like blaming people, not thinking that we should organize also concerts or whatever, but we need to think about the shop steward as a mandate, and we need to take responsible for workers at the company and change our union based on the changes at the factory or the company. That's the point. And I don't have any answer. We have recently in Norway, we also had big challenges with food delivery. We have a good labor law for everyone. But then food delivery starts with, of course, the platform delivery, like Grab. I think actually the same company as Grab. It's called Fodora. Yeah. And the company in Norway was saying that we don't have any minimum wages. It's decided by the app. And there was no union for that. And our traditional union was saying, yeah, this is not our workers' members. The transport sector was like, no, this is not a normal transport. It's just delivering food. There was a lot of discussion. Is there anyone who actually wants to take care of these people? And it could be the story that could be that okay, no one cares because they get cheap food. But there was some bikers who actually started organizing because they had been worked on another company before and understood how to build up unions. And they convinced the transport union that if we get some established money to start recruiting, we will take the fight to organize and make a union. Normally the union was saying, no, this is too much, this is too expensive, we don't earn any money, so many problems, it will cost a lot with the legal rights and such. But this shop stewards, they did like you. They invited the workers. They had no time for time off, so I met the workers while I was biking. I biked with them together to discuss when I was bicycling, and convince them to organize, and also get some equipment and tips how to fix their bikes, make some service for the members, and now they have many thousands of members, and made a CBA for platform workers, the first one in the world. And this type of CBAs are super important because now most platform workers have no CBAs and they have no rights. And if you think people behind the platform apps, they want more people into this system because it's easy to control salaries and no commitments. Even this Musk is now trying to sell the idea that the whole public sector can be used through an app. You can imagine how all public service salaries are now going through the app system instead of that you have trade unions, employers. So small changes like food delivery looks maybe not very difficult, but the idea and the mentality of how to organize the work life is super consequences for us in the future if you don't stop this development. And I don't think that would be the same with outsourcing. I mean, there's always someone who tries to spin up workers, and we need to also find a new way to organize this, take the responsibilities. So, this is a way of the next hour we'll talk about how we will show ourselves as a union. So this is a picture with a poster called what's it called in English? Your thoughts or your ideas will be heard as a member. So, when you look at this picture, do you think these guys will, you feel that they are representing you? Do you want to pay membership to join these guys? I do not. Old boring man who looks very old-fashioned. It's actually the old leadership in Hello from the 70s. If you're selling this out today, do you get the new members? No? But I agree. So how do you communicate to your members in order to get new members? This is also, I'm not criticizing, I'm just showing. This is also how we communicate out to our members, right? Still, man. It's not a black white though.
Sekarang musuhan.
But if you go out in the media and promote units, we need to also understand what you're communicating.
KPI.
If we're going to organize our people out, we need to also understand that these workers also need to see their own personality in the organization. If you have been there, that gives another expression of the organization, right? Together now. Yeah. This is, of course, something we all are proud of, because it shows mobilization. We are many, strong union. But if you only show this, it can also be misused, right? think we discussed that a bit yesterday, that employers are always saying that unions are only on the streets. They don't do anything else, which is wrong, of course. But we need to go out on the streets, but we also need to be very clear when we should go out on the streets. So we need to think strategically when it's most important. In Norway, we are famous to not walk in the streets. Which is a bit weird, but the point is, we only walk on the streets if it's 1st of May and 8th of March. And if there are any very political challenges we need to raise, which is not been agreed on in the meetings. But in our unions, they are saying that the power is not to strike. Because if you have the power, you can handle the situation before the strike. So strike is, yes, important, but it is also a bit of a weakness. Because you have to find a solution before the strike. Just show this as not like that's correct, but that's how we think in Norway. Because we have another context. We have, if our workforce are organized, we are in a position to negotiate. And we are totally agree that if you don't have much members, you need to go on the streets because you don't have the same mandate as we with a high university. So, can you think what is this communicate? Can you think who is this? So what is the picture about? Yes? It's a woman. It's a woman biker, yeah. So, gender equality?
Yeah.
So, we had a congress last year. And we got a new president. That's that lady.
Wow.
Yeah. There is also about communication, right? How you want to communicate really. She's a pro biker. Yeah, that's not her main work though, but it's a hobby. Her story that she was vice president in the industry union. So she into the funny things. She was supposed to be taking over the industry union because the president of the industry union was going to be our new president Elo. But that man was suddenly have an affair with some women, misused his position. Which came, of course, out in the media 2 weeks before the Congress. And that lady, because the election committee was then asking her, can she be the new president of Elo? And she was like, no way. I have plans for my next reunion. But then she understood that if you not, it would be a lot of more discussion about the old guy who had an affair and some new complicated process of elections. So she, after 1 week, was saying, okay, I can be in position anyway. And I think the way of communicate leadership, shop stewards, is super key in order to make members also understand what type of union we are having. And I think if we haven't been in a position to find out that old guy that he had some affair with that lady, and he has been elected as a president. And the month after shows that okay, he has a lot of, he misused his position. We have another story today. I think we have lost probably half our members because this is a really issue in Norway. So we need to be active, proactive, know our union, and also take necessary chances to change in order to communicate and show our members that we actually taking members seriously. Yeah. So, communication is key. So, what does this picture show?
Pengurus kayak gitu, diskusi dengan pekerja.
Anything else?
Well, okay.
Yeah. Age? Yeah, both are young,
Makan
right? Yeah, maybe interns. But both are young. The context that they are smiling, there's not angry unionists there. They have a dialogue. It's not like police coming and saying everything is wrong. And this maybe people say this is 18 and 19 years old unionists. There we have a campaign in Norway. We collect the youngest shop stewards, also active members who want some basic trainings for CBA and law. And we walk around, not like SDN or individual union, but as ELO, and guide people. We are not going into the companies. We are asking the boss if it's okay. And we just guide them to do contracts, any questions, working hours, things you know as very easy things. But this lady is working in the public, and she in the industry. But they are a group of 20 in a local community, cross all each other's unions, and helps each other in order to be visible, guide, and then in the end also ask them to join the union. So, in that way, we are able to connect more workers around in the community, in shops or randomly workers on the streets. And we can use 1 hour or maybe 2 hours a week and recruit across each other's unions. Because for the workers, they are not like, oh, I need to join SDN, because that's the most famous union. They want to join a union because they see the benefit of a union. The brand, they don't care. In my view. Of course, you get the identity when they're joining a union. It doesn't make sense. So we need to be starting at a level where actually workers understand the point of joining. Start with introducing, guiding, being your tool. Show them that you are the one who they need to talk about their rights. Because I think the cooperation between unions are very key in order to succeed organizing. We have so many unions, also in this region. You never talk to each other. And home and here we also fight for the same members, right? Yeah, everyone's like and it's like a family. When the parents are fighting, the kids they see what's happening. And the workers also see the shop steward fighting against the members. They love this. And they will say that, okay, the unions are just about the powers. They're not helping us. So we need to find a solution on how to cooperate much better. Who's winning on this? It's the employers, right? Because they see that you are not agree, they can use you in the negotiations if you have different positions and such. I think this is key for you and for us. In Norway, we have a lot of these problems because everyone is people. They fight what they believe in and such. And of course, two different unions have two different systems, structures, identities. But let's take that fight in a meeting together and find solutions. In Norway, at LO level, we have a committee which is called Organizational Committee, where we decide if there are big conflicts, who's having the CBA. Sometimes it's not easy to be agreed. This committee, with all the union leaders, decide in the end of the conflict. You have sort of the same. You have the committee which solve conflict between unions. No? Okay. Maybe, but you have conflicts. You want to do something with conflicts? Or is it just like we ignore the union and continue the fight? It's up to you. I recommend that if you have many units of the same company, it's good to have a dialogue of what you are not agree on due to recruitment. The only one who's benefiting this is the employer. We have tried to, okay, this is maybe a bit small, but the point is, in the community with the industry, you have many types of supporting workers, supplementing workers. So you have the main members in the factory, but in the community you also have teachers, you have all the type of working places because of the industry. The industry is sort of maybe in a village or area, but that also makes more businesses around. And few of them are talking to each other. Okay, so just an example of what we have done in Norway, of places in communities. We have, for example, we can think about the airport. On an airport, you have people who's working on the aircraft. You have the security. You have the coffee shops who sells two-way expensive coffee. But that's another thing. You have people working on transport to the airport. In the airport in Oslo Airport, which is a small airport, you have 30,000 workers, and it's 500 different branches. And so many unions. And before we start thinking about the airport at one company, so as a one company, all unions was fighting, and we had many hundreds of unions who never talked to each other. So we made something called Hello Aviation. So all union who worked on that airport can use the same office, use the same coffee machine, facilitate the same meeting rooms, and they recruit as Hello. So the workers at the airport didn't care about it was your union or whatever. When they was recruited, we find out what type of union they belong to. But also our airport, as a one company, big area, there's a lot of pressure. So we have one voice against the leadership of the airport for all workers, not only individual workers. Yeah, so that's just one way of organizing things together. Do you know the story about Kspi-Lo? You know the story? Yes. This is a commercial they made for recruitment. We organized many of the simulated young girls because I think so. Yeah. So the point is, the many benefits, many things. So what do you think this is?
Aduh, sensor.
This is how we organize vocational training students. You probably know what we're trying to explain. So it's important to go learning from all the professionals. Yeah. This is vocational students for the pharmacy. You know, we need to take care of the good.
Iya,
But you need training, not going for maybe also as a person. So this is a commercial for that you need the right training to know what you actually you're going to do at work. And this is communication, how you need to learn about the right health and safety. That you need to learn what type of equipment you have. I'm not sure if it's very easy to see. But this is on an aircraft. They are jumping out of the aircraft, like, but this guy, he is dressed to walk in the mountains, not jumping out of the aircraft. So if you jump, he will just die. So this is another way of communication organizing. Just examples. Words like in both. Have seen this before maybe? I don't know how much left. But is there any questions? I hope I'm not talking too negative of the old men in the units. Are you agree on how forwards are should be focused on the union? Or do you think we need more strong leaders as well? That's not much discussion, right? Something to get tired? I am. Should we maybe have a break? I think we have the lunch now, right? Somehow wanna bring some. Okay, yeah. I have not much more on the agenda, but if you have any questions. Stupid questions?
Baik, terima kasih. Tadi saya ingin mempertegas saja di awal, Mr. Olaf sampaikan bahwa di Norwegia itu lebih banyak anggotanya dari sektor publik ya,
your members
daripada sektor swasta. Itu kan berbanding terbalik dengan Indonesia. Kalau di Indonesia itu kan lebih banyak sektor swastanya. Nah, yang dimaksud sektor publik di Norwegia sendiri itu sektor pekerja apa saja sebetulnya, apakah di pemerintahan, universitas guru atau bagaimana? Itu minta penjelasannya. Terima kasih.
Okay, so the working lab in Norway, we have, it's 50-50, private, public sector, organized. But in Norway, we have a big welfare system, which is public. So everything from schools, hospitals, kindergartens, those local administrations, all this is public. So it's developed a quite big public sector. And also, it depends on what type of community you are, but most also service like, for example, like cleaning streets, picking up the trash back home. All this is also public. So the public sector have both sort of own. They also have mix of workers, drivers, bus drivers, for example, is public in Norway. So public is sort of a mix of things, but owned by the public. In the industry side, we have much in steel industry, and we have much delivering in weapon. And also, because we have a lot of waters from mountains, we make energy from that. So melting down, like melt-down industry is very cheap in Norway. So we have many companies who melt down metals, so that the power energy is quite cheap. And then we have the oil sector. It's very big in Norway. So we have a very big oil sector, but also a very big fish sector. But the oil sector, we did something smart when we found oil in the 70s and 60s. That's okay, the private sector can do the job, but it's the public's ownership. So we will tax all the oil company like 70%. So we put all this income to a pension fund. So it's not private. It's only 30% of the income is private. So yeah, they have a bit of different industries, but and also the salaries are and then the expenses are high, but still we have good export to both Asia and Europe. Because we have high salaries, so we need to be more efficient. So efficiency is very important for us. So we need to produce more for every money. Because we have higher salaries. Competition with other countries.
Yang satu lagi.
One more.
Yeah.
Kalau kita bicara tenaga outsourcing,
Talk about
ada juga kan di Norwegia outsourcing.
Do you have anything like
Nah, di Indonesia ini kita juga menjadi dilema. Satu sisi kita ingin melakukan perlindungan terhadap pekerja outsourcing,
on the one side?
tapi satu sisi juga kita juga melakukan penolakan terhadap outsourcing. Dan ketika kita mengorganisasi mereka untuk mendinasikan pekerja, ya di kita ini masih rentan. Begitu mereka bentuk, ya mereka akan kehilangan pekerjaannya. Nah, bagaimana sistem outsourcing yang berlaku di Norwegia itu?
If we recruit them and they welcome them to our union, whenever they lose their job, we will lose also the membership. So it's a dilemma. What do you think about this?
I think this is something we definitely need to discuss. And I think all countries have some various sorts of experience. Some outsourcing could be that it's not belonging to the company, but there's another company serving the outsource business. For example, the cleaning. If you outsource the cleaning, is it individual, self-employed, or is it a company serving so that new staff are hired in another company? So it's two different ways of outsourcing to another company, or it's self-employed people coming and saying we can do the cleaning. It's also so it depends on the approach. I mean, if it's another company, then it's not organizing in that new company, right? Because that's the same structure as your company, and you can do the same type of unionism. We have some experience of outsourcing in Norway. It was actually in the public sector. Because in the community you have teachers, or musician teachers, and the school was saying we don't need full-time teachers or that type of profession, so they are self-employed. They just come on. And there was no union for them, because they need to be hired someplace. So we need to change that, thinking of how we organize. So that union may also own a section in the union for self-employed organized. And I think, in my view, it's very difficult from each local union to establish this alone, but maybe go up a level and discuss, can we have cooperation in all branches to have self-employed membership? So if you're a member of that company this week, that company next week, the membership is solely you, not the company. We have this musician union, and everyone there is self-employed because they are musicians. Some are working at, for example, concert hall, opera, musical company, but they are all self-employed. So they give them what they need as a self-employed, something else than people who is full-time and outside of the It's another type of union. So I think, I don't know, have you discussed, is it possible to make a union or part of the KSDI or union level to organize people who are self-employed? Is that possible? You're smiling.
Tapi SPMI sudah, SPMI sudah memulai, bisa perseorangan itu bergabung dengan federasi. Keanggotaannya adalah langsung ke pimpinan pusat. Ya, jadi tidak harus 10 orang, jadi bisa 1 orang bergabung.
Just like a union. So it doesn't have to be 10% to have a union, but then the membership is on individual basis.
Yeah. Because then you can brand it like outsourced union.
Ya, bisa kemudian dilakukan bisa pakai sama organisasi.
I think maybe, I mean, you need to brand the union for the purpose of people who's working. If you have a contract with a company, that's another thing. Like you're outsourcing, being self-employed, they also need to see the union. They need to see how is that communicated. So it looks like it's possible. So if that's a problem for you, start discussing them. How this can be a union organization. Any other questions? Yes.
Tadi yang didiskusikan tentang di perusahaan atau di tempat kerja dan tujuan. Jadi sering terjadi permasalahan seperti banyaknya outsourcing, kemudian upah murah, terus bahkan ketidakpastian kerja ataupun kontrak panjang. Itu adalah sudah tertuang atau tercantum di aturan yang ada di Indonesia. Kalau itu sudah menjadi regulasi yang ada di Indonesia. Itu kadang memberatkan kami untuk melakukan perubahan. Nah, semua yang ada di regulasi itu yang otomatis semua kebijakan kesejahteraan itu ada di produk politik. Nah, sedangkan di Indonesia masih banyak, ya mohon maaf, serikat pekerja yang justru mendukung partai politik yang partai politik tersebut adalah pimpinan atau pengusaha, para pengusaha. Nah, bagaimana cara mengatasi hal tersebut? Dan juga yang kedua tentang dari tahun berapa di Norwegia, kan tadi saya tertarik di pembahasan awal sempat menyampaikan antara tahun 70 atau 80 bahwa di Norwegia itu sudah mulai melek ataupun terjun ke dunia politik untuk mengubah suatu kebijakan atau regulasi tentang kesejahteraan buruh. Apakah ya itu?
Oh yeah. Yeah, info. Okay. So the first was about outsourcing and also the promotion that all is regulated, and maybe also Indonesian government want more of outsourcing, red tape, less regulation for workers. So they're actually working against you, not union friendly. To the labor rights. So I totally agree, and I think most countries in the world have the same challenge, that we have governments and employers which are not agreeing, and maybe also some unionists are thinking people who outsource, it's not us. So we have our contracts in order, so we don't bother. But I think again back to, if you start organizing these groups, you have a voice, a strong voice. The same, I mean, the platform workers, Grab or other, if you start organize them, as you also do, you will give a picture and also be visible and mobilize in a way that people actually have to listen. So I think it's basics. As all other issues, we need to start organize them in order to actually do any changes. Because if not, there's no one else listening to them. So I think the first premise is we cannot fight with no members, so we can't change anything about outsourcing if we don't have the members. Yeah. And back to the politics. LO have since the beginning made a party for the Labour Party. It was established also 100 years ago. And in the beginning, they was very connected. But the last 40 years, we have been very clear that it's two different organizations. And our shop steward training and also what we are saying in all levels, that we establish a party because the party should listen to us. Because we need politicians who actually listen to us. But it's that way, it's not the opposite way. We are the power, we have a mandate from our members. And the party they have a mandate to serve the people. Maybe also not our members. But they should know that if they're gonna talk about labor issues, we should be the one they are listening to. And all parties have their connection somehow. The Conservatives, they have dialogue with employers. The Christian Party have the churches. But the Labour Party are trying to have dialogue with all communities, which also LO are very agreed in. We are not LO's policy is not covering every aspect of families in Norway. But on labor issues, we have members, so our party can go and listen to our members if they want, and we will complain if they don't. So I think it's important to have a Labour Party, but it's also very important to put the individual as two different organizations. Unions are democracy within the workers. And we should remind it like that. Yes. So, being said that, we are strongly committed to the party. Of course, we are saying that we're supporting the Labour Party. The ministry now, the Prime Minister is from the party. He's meeting our union leaders every second week. All the unions and all the leadership meeting the Prime Minister to discuss labor issues, which is on the agenda of the government. But the agenda is made by not the government. Again, the communication that they should listen, and we are the delivered members of this. And most important, it's open discussions with media, so we don't like in front of the table talk. Yes. Which is very important. So, but of course, many other federations saying, "Oh no, LO is always discussion with the Labour Party." But of course, we want influence in the politics. As long as it's that way, not the other way. So the politicians are influencing us. Then we feel free to do that. Because we have a mandate from members, to influence the government.
ambil keputusan yang mengurangi kebijakan yang
Yeah. That's how we operate.
ya.
And how do you operate? Is it the same?
Sama.
Belum.
No?
Jadi masih banyak serikat pekerja yang kadang malah yang mohon maaf mendukung salah satu partai mungkin yang padahal partai tersebut adalah milik pengusaha, jelas-jelas bagi pengusaha.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Now I see your point. It's a lot of interests. I think the last 20 years have been more. Of course, we established the Labour Party, but we also support two other parties. So we have a coalition, not in a cooperation. So when we supporting elections or whatever, we support three different parties in respect of that not all the members I agree with us on supporting them in Labour. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
Saya tertarik dengan kita yang katakan tadi bahwa ada jasa sektor pengantaran makanan yang belum diatur regulasinya secara negara. Kemudian di situ pengaturannya adalah membuat PKW secara di luar diatur di undang-undang. Itu pendekatan apa yang dilakukan di sana untuk mengontrol bahwa secara undang-undang atau upaya hukumnya nggak ada, tapi berani untuk membuat PKB itu mirip dengan saya pernah diskusi dengan sebelum undang-undang PRD disahkan di bulan November kemarin, ketika kawan-kawan kerja rumah tangga ini tidak mempunyai hukum, dia yang mereka adalah kontrak kerja secara pribadi antara majikan dan pembantu itu, secara upah dan jam kerja.
Yeah. So the issue with this is Kultura. In Norway, we don't have any minimum wage because all salaries are in the CBAs. Because we have union density over 50%, governments and we are agreed that the unions and employers are deciding the salaries in the CBAs. So compared to other countries, our labor law is quite thin. The most benefits are in the CBAs, like salaries. But you shall, in the Labour Act, it says that you shall have a salary which is enough to sort of living costs. Yeah, it's not defined. There was no definition in the